Wiesbaden Hauptbahnhof. Nächster Halt, Stadion. Next stop, Frankfurt Stadium.
This is a story of a trip that I took to Germany with my two friends, Christian and Richard. That's Roxanne. She drove us to the airport.
Richard's got a lot of stuff.
Oh, I'm not ready for this.
Yeah, it's okay, buddy.
Like a lot of my trips, this one started in Portland, Oregon. We got a flight direct to Germany, Frankfurt, Germany, non-stop. After we landed, we grabbed some European money and we took this tiny little elevator up to our room. After that, we kind of just started hanging out in Frankfurt, walking around. It was a lot like Portland, actually. Cool, rainy. Finally, we got pretty tired and we decided to call it a night. The next morning, we got up early and we bought our train tickets to go into Munich. After about 6 hours and 3 different trains, we finally got to Munich. The first thing we did was take the subway to our friend Bossy's apartment where we would stay for the next 7 days. Little secret about traveling. Travel hack. When you travel, bring your friend Richard. And when you wake up in the morning, send him out to the nearby grocery store and have him pick things up to cook for breakfast. Save a little money. Some nice local treats, and it all comes in at a whopping €7. 7 years prior to this trip, I had gone to Munich with one of my other friends, so this time around I felt a lot of responsibility having Christian and Richard with me. Felt like I kind of had to show them all the cool spots, at least the spots that I knew we were off and running. I took them to one of my favorite places in Munich, the museums. I think on our third or fourth day in Munich, Richard and I left Christian behind and we went to the Nymphenburg Palace. We lucked out. There weren't too many other people there visiting. Pretty cool place if you ever get the chance to check it out. Don't break the glasses, yeah?
Yeah. Hey, that was the Polish.
The Polish.
Coincidentally, we were in Munich in late September, which meant that Oktoberfest was going on.
Amazing!
After hitting up Oktoberfest, me, Christian, and Richard spent a lot of the week walking around Munich and doing something we all really like doing, eating food and drinking lots of beer. Well, we found spicy food. It's real good Thai spicy food in Munich. We got Tham Yum, duck noodle dish, rice, wide noodle dish with chicken. Something about the beers in Germany, they just taste better. You can drink them faster, drink them easier, and they're served in much larger glasses than the ones we get in the US. And I don't know, something about the weather in Munich in late September, beer just tastes better. Christian and Richard are the most sober. And Richard is really After about a week of hanging out in Munich, it was time to move on. It's a beautiful city, especially in late September. It was great hanging out, seeing the museums I had been to years ago, catching up with old friends, and hanging around the city with my new friends. We are now headed north to Berlin. The day markets, the nightlife, old parts of the city blended in with the new parts. Berlin was awesome. Although it's in Germany, pretty much everybody spoke English, which made things pretty easy for us to get around. In the middle of the city is this place called Tempelhof, which is basically an old abandoned airport. You can hang out, lounge around, do recreational stuff, or just kind of walk around and check out the old airport that's now abandoned, not in use. There's also a beer garden in the middle of the park. A lot like Munich, there's plenty of beer in Berlin and really good food as well. We were there during German Unity Day, which is sort of like their Independence Day. So a lot was going on in the city, and a lot of good food was to be had. Every night when we went out in Berlin, we were always able to find an interesting spot, meet interesting people. It was a city where you can kind of adjust to quickly, I feel like. There's this place in Berlin called Museum Island, and it's basically 4 or 5 classical museums loaded with great artwork, great artifacts, and for about $18 for the day, you can see all of them. It was definitely worth it, and we got our money's worth. I was definitely geeking out about the museums and art that was available to see in Berlin. Definitely more than the other guys, but I dragged them along anyways. After about a week in Berlin, Christian and I managed to find this old video game museum. It was really impressive. A lot of fun, a lot of interactive stuff to do. That was it. The trip was coming to an end. We had a great time, but it was time to go. We went back to Frankfurt, and then we flew home to Portland. Well, actually, we had a first fly to Seattle. Good to be back in the place I'll always call home, the Pacific Northwest. This trip was the perfect way to end summer. It was great going with Christian and Richard. We got to know each other somehow even more. It's good to be back in Germany and see how things have changed or hadn't changed, and see things I didn't see when I was first there.